It's the 19th of September on a Saturday, and it's a day of our powwow. We are here in Paqtnkek, which is a part of our community. It's a place where we come and gather and celebrate St. Anne's. It's a place where our loved ones come to rest, and I thought it would be the appropriate place to share this dream with you that I have had. It's almost like a vision or a dream that I had with an elder, and at times a group of elders. And one of the things that was mentioned, and it was before I became chief, what she said was she sees all these feathers. As I was coming in and I was following these staffs of all these eagles, it got me to think about a story an elder once told me. It was before I was in this position, and one of the things she said was, I see all these feathers. And I said, what feathers? And she said, eagle feathers. She said, I see all these eagles. And instead of these eagles typically flying alone or flying in pairs, these eagles are flying like geese. They're flying in a V formation. And typically eagles, they fly alone or they may fly in pairs. But what she was saying about this situation was the eagles were flying like geese, sort of like in a V, as geese fly. And what was happening was each person was taking a turn in the lead. Each person is coming forward and taking that leadership position. And that is the nature of our communities, where people step forward and take on that leadership position for the benefit of all our future generations. I thought about that existing within our community, and how many people step forward and take on that role of leadership. And many do. Many youth, many elders, many women, many men within our community, the community of Paqtnkek. And I thought about this idea of how it was meant that various community members step forward within this leadership role position to step into their mastery, to step into their life path, to step into their creativity and greatness, so that when we all come together as a community, we are able to achieve things much more easily. Another part that this elder has told me about within this dream was the care and planning that we undertook before we entered into this life. There were these plans, much like assignments, that we all agreed to undertake. These reside within the core of our being, within our hearts. If we take the time to listen and to feel deep within the core of our heart space, we will hear that message much like an echo of what our true purpose is as a Mi'kmaq person, being part of this wonderful Mi'kmaq community called Paqtnkek. We will learn from that voice. We will follow that voice. We will nurture that voice, and we will create an incredible community. She also mentioned that part of this process that we're going to achieve through this vision, through this dream, is rebuilding these communities, rebuilding these families, rebuilding our people to develop a sustainable community that is environmentally friendly. Developing systems and processes to provide food for ourselves, to provide shelter for our members in a sustainable and environmentally friendly way. This is part of our path. This is part of our future. And when we come to realize that, we start to embrace this wonderful mystery we call life, this wonderful opportunity we call life. And when we share and when we start to love and care for each other, we begin to support each other in this path, and we begin to live it together and in a united way. As we step into this future, as we make that choice to step into this new future, we will leave these old patterns behind, those old ways of what we used to think about community, about what we used to think about each other. And as we leave those old patterns and habits behind, and when we sort of delve into our heart space, deep within, and listen to that inner voice of what our purpose and assignment is, we will begin to take our power as a people. And once we take our power, nobody can take that power from us. With that power within each and every one of us, we can create this new wave of change for our community that will have lasting impacts for our community, both today and for future generations. Like that story of eagles flying together like geese, each and every one of us needs to step forward to take on that role and responsibility, to recognize and embrace that assignment that will make our community strong and prosperous. That's why I think we all came together within our community, is to do truly incredible things. Things that will not only set the example within community, but be an example for other communities to follow. We made these plans, and we followed them through, and we are here today to make that dream a reality. With this fall equinox, it's the time of year where there is a balance that is taking place, a balance between day and night. With that balance, there's a sort of way to look upon that further, like balancing relationships that we might have, personal relationships, relationships within families. It offers an opportunity for ourselves, both individually and collectively, to shift into a different timeline for our community. A timeline that represents a community that is strong, prosperous, independent, creative, and sovereign. We each are sovereign in our own right. And when we come together and when we share and celebrate, it gives breath to a spirit, the spirit of community. So I ask you, within this very special time, to think about the role you have in community and the role that you want to play in our community. There are so many things and so many ways we can choose to play a role within our community. There are so many ways we can come together and put aside old patterns and habits that we once had of not getting along, of having, for example, to maybe feel better, to feel good. We no longer require those habits anymore. We no longer require those patterns. What is taking place within this shift and around this very special time of the fall equinox. It's an opportunity for us to share and grow and to, in a certain way, have a rebirth of who we are, both individually and collectively. A rebirth where we consider the role and choose the role that we want to play within community and chart that course, create that timeline of creating this truly incredible community that Paqtnkek is and can be. Such is the case with this fall equinox, where we have taken great strides and planning for this very special time, this time of a renewed energy, a renewed choice, of recreating the type of community and the type of life that we want to live in. This is my dream. This is my vision for our community. And I really hope that we take the time to really think about it and to share this wonderful, wonderful journey of life with every single person that we meet. So often I think about that vision of eagles flying like geese, of community members stepping forward and taking on that leadership role, assuming their mastership, recognizing the plans we made before we were born, realizing what their assignment is within this community, within our community of Paqtnkek, and having that space of love, respect, honor, and compassion, both for self and others. We have done this in so many ways, in so many different times as a people throughout our history. We have a long and rich history on this land. Our elders, our ancestors of previous generations are always here to support us and guide us and help us if we ask. Our elders living today provide a living example on the truth and wisdom of how communities came together to help and support one another. That caring and trust, which is the foundation of our spirituality. When we come together as Mi'kmaq people, whether it be through specific ceremony or celebration, there's something that very magical happens. It's when our hearts, when we begin to share and love and care and honor each other, it creates a spirit within our communities, a community spirit. And when we share and celebrate and gather, we create this wonderful spirit we call community. And when we come together and our hearts join, it becomes our nation spirit. So we're here to celebrate that spirit. We are here to celebrate it through drumming, through dancing, through ceremony, through laughter. All of that makes us special as Mi'kmaq people. It makes us proud as Mi'kmaq people. And through this ceremony, and with the guidance of our elders and the strength of our youth, we learn to share and honor and respect each other when we come in this way, when we gather in this way. It reflects this pride that we have for being a Mi'kmaq person on this very sacred land, in this very sacred place. That pride, that celebration, that recognition of who we are, nobody can take that from us. We will create a community that will bring our people together, to bring our youth together, to bring our elders together, and to set the example on how other communities can create systems, processes, projects and initiatives that reflect the hearts, the collective heart of our community. That very special and unique community spirit that is within each and every one of us. The roles we take on, the responsibilities we share as individuals within a community will set the example for other communities to follow. Our initiatives of rebuilding community, rebuilding our families, rebuilding the people within our community will allow various formulas and ideas to emerge on how communities can come together and thrive. It would provide the foundation for communities to come together in a sustainable way, and in a way that is environmentally friendly to the lands and resources we have depended on for so many generations. It would provide the roadmap for our youth to follow and to build upon. It would bring community together like a sacred fire. A fire that is made strong by each and every one of us who come together. This is part of the vision that I have received, almost like a dream. And I wanted to share that with you for this very special fall equinox. So thank you for listening to me. Will alio.